Hey guys, it's a Sick podcast. Welcome back. I'm Sunny.
I'm Miraz.
I'm Chris, and today, finally, after a long time, we have Jin on the podcast.
Hello everyone, I'm Jin. Thank you for having me here.
Man, I always dress like a bum, but all my other friends, they dress pretty dang well. I wonder what they think about me when I dress this way.
I think, man, Sunny dresses like a bum.
Well, actually, I don't know, man. I feel like I dress just as good as you, and I thought we both dressed well. So maybe I've just been, living a fantasy. Maybe I'm just a bum.
Well, you look pretty good to me.
Well, thank you. All right, well, we're gonna be talking about fashion and how we dress, and we invited Jin because his sense of fashion is, I feel like, different enough, unique enough to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so what do you guys like to wear? Let's start with that, I guess.
I guess I should just describe what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a t-shirt, some shorts, and some socks. That's what I'm wearing today.
Like a normal human being.
Yeah, Sunny, when he wears clothes, though, it's pretty unique to him because his muscles, the way that they ripple...
The striations are just...
The striations, goddamn. I mean, it almost looks like he's going to burst at the seams.
Yeah,
So goddamn muscular.
Yeah, he has this kind of fashion that says, like, I'm wearing clothes, but I know you want them off.
So that's Sunny in a nutshell.
What are you guys wearing?
You can see us. All right. So I'm wearing Adidas sweatpant jogger thingies, and then like a t-shirt, an oversized t-shirt. Mm-hmm. That's kind of my thing.
That used to be the classic for me too, but since I started working, I get kind of self-conscious about wearing these are like work clothes, man, because it makes me feel old.
Yeah. Whenever Chris gets off of work or whatever, he's wearing like these khakis or like nice dress pants. Is that like a dark maroon or whatever?
Yeah, these are like a burgundy like dress pants, man, with the black socks, black belt, gray collars,
and a collared t-shirt.
The polo.
Looking all fit.
Dang.
I look like I'm 30 probably. But no, I feel young at heart.
So like I thought it was weird at first, but now I feel like even on days you don't work or whatever, you're kind of adopting the style.
Yeah, okay. Like here's the thing, right? So you guys see me mostly on the weekdays. I feel like even though we can still hang out on the weekends.
Oh, true.
But a lot of the time, what I do is I'll wear khakis just for the sole reason that I can still put on like a regular t-shirt on top of it, and it still like looks fine.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why I like bought my shoes. Like my favorite pair of shoes that I own is my like Clark's Desert Boots, man, in the beeswax color.
God. When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's nice. Those are nice boots.
They're like perfect, man, because you can wear them to the office, but you can also wear them out, and then I don't know, it's like a casual, but it's also like business casual.
So you can dress up, you can dress down.
Yeah, it's like versatile. So you can like wear jeans, you can wear khakis, whatever. You just wear it.
Yeah, that's
What,
nice.
what about you, Jin?
What are you wearing?
I mean, I feel like I always wear something very simple and very chic, and just like Chris, I wear something that's like a bit business, a bit too formal according to some people. And sometimes I go out, people are like, do you have an interview or do you have something like that? And yeah, but I do wear Adidas and sweatpants sometimes if I'm going out just, to go like grocery shopping, or if I'm just going to a class. Of course, I'm not going to like dress out, but I try to look good every day.
Oh,
I put
wow.
an effort.
Yeah, there's a definite. We can definitely see it. I definitely see it.
Yeah, the word effort is the key word.
Actually, I think that is because we just saw you wearing those like the front looked like shoes, but the back was like a slipper.
It was like
fur on it.
Yeah, it was like the mullet of shoes, like business in
Like
the front, party in the
literally.
back.
Honestly, I thought they were shoes until he turned around and started walking. Like, oh shit.
What is it? It's like Gucci slippers or something.
Yeah, those are like Gucci slippers, and they are very, very famous. A lot of people actually own them. But before it become famous, I bought it, and after like I wear it, I feel like everyone around me start wearing it.
See, this is why we hang out with him. He's got the cutting edge trends. If only we could afford them. No, I feel like Jin's staple look is always just a button-down shirt with like nice pants. And then like really expensive shoes.
I have a very big thing for shoes. I think I own like more than 40 pair of shoes actually.
40 pairs of shoes.
Yes.
See, me, I
have like 5 pairs there. I have like more than 12 inside. I have like
Oh my god.
10 or like
Holy
12 more
moly.
in China.
See, like me, I only have one pair of shoes. So the shoes you see over there, that's my only shoes.
Sonny's got his like his going out shoes, but he's also got his like work boots. He's
Yeah.
got his Timbs.
I guess you can count that as shoes. But yeah, I only have one pair of shoes. What about you guys?
I alternate between having one pair of shoe and two pairs of shoes. And the second pair only comes in when my first one's getting worn out, and then I buy a new one. So then for a temporary amount of time, I have two. And my mom makes me throw out the old ones. Like, this is trash. I'm like, no, I'm going to keep it. I like it. Because, when you break in shoes, you get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right now I'm just wearing some generic Adidas shoes.
I definitely have more than one pair of shoes. That's for sure.
Yeah, Chris, you got like a thing for shoes.
I do too. Yeah, not as much as Jin.
I just feel like even though the shoes are of the same color, but they have like the little different details, you can like pair it with different kind of clothes. And I just feel like wearing one shoe is not enough for me. Like even though for like white shoes, I feel like 4 or 5 different pair of white shoes because they look slightly different from one another. Like some of them have some like color combination only, and some of them are just plain color. Some of them are made from like different materials, and having that on the shoes, I think it pair out with different clothes.
I can relate to that one because I have a pair of white Adidas, but I also have a pair of white Vans, and it just depends on like what I'm wearing that day, what it goes with better, I think. But yeah, I don't think I have as many. I don't have 40 pairs, that's for sure, but I definitely have at least like somewhere between like 5 and 10 probably.
See, all this talk about like getting dressed and stuff just shows like how it affects my like way of thinking with you guys. Is because like just hear you guys talk about how you guys want to match and stuff. I'm like, man, I'm over here. I just dress whatever I like to wear.
Yeah.
See, I'm a Sunny here. I'd rarely try to look good because I don't. But there's sometimes when there's an event or whatever, or a fall event, I will dress up, but I'm still gonna wear the same pair of shoes whether it matches or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm comfortable. I like them. They have a personality. I'm kind of at that point where if someone doesn't like it, I'm like, well, I like it.
I think that's a good point. Like, it doesn't matter what other people perceive you as, or like what other people think of what you wear, as long as you're happy. And I think that's kind of like how, like, even though we did have different approaches to that, we all have like the same outcome.
Well, to be fair, I would like parents because that'd be pretty cool. But nah, it's just too much work.
But it's like, what about like if you're just introducing yourself to like a stranger or something? Like, how would they think of you if they just, if they looked at me right now? They'd be like,
if they judge me by my shoes, that's weird.
But truthfully speaking, a lot of people do judge people by their shoes or by the things they wear. Even though when you go to shop, people are going to treat you nicely if you dress like nice. And if you have a job interview, if you go to like have like a position, people are going to pay attention to what you wear. Because I think speak to someone's personality or speak to someone's like overall like.
So this is why I can't get any more friends.
You hit your quota.
That's why I always hear like kind of those stories where people like they dress up like I don't know, they just got off like some kind of work. They're working like overalls and they're like all dirty and stuff, but like they're like rich as fuck.
Yeah.
And they go to like like Tesla, and they buy like a car like in cash and stuff like that. And people just shoo them, like the police like shoo them away, even though they dress like that. Even though they have the money to get it,
I think it's
like
natural to judge someone based off the way that they look. Even if we try to resist that urge, I feel like
we're gonna do
still
it
definitely like come up.
It's
But that's a
natural.
really good case against that.
Because like I think what's becoming nowadays is just that a lot of people who actually have money, they try to look as simple as possible. And a lot of people who actually don't have much money, they actually try to look as loud as possible. So you see a lot of like very rich or wealthy people, they wear clothes that look very simple, but they might cost like $1,000, $2,000 that you don't know. And then you might also see other people, they might not have a lot of money, but they wear clothes that says brand on it, but it might be as expensive as the one that are very simple.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's spot on. Yeah, I mean like Steve Jobs, man.
Yo, I was about to say that.
Yeah, Steve Jobs, man.
Did you guys know he only has that one sweater in his closet?
Really?
That's his whole attire. It's just that one black sweater, like turtleneck sweater, and the long black pants. That's all he wears.
The foil to that is like, I kind of feel like hype beasts are like the opposite of that because they spend so much money to flex with all these like but I don't think they can afford it. Like a lot of people, like maybe that's just where their priority is, and that's fine if they want to do that, if it makes them happy. But
if we were to get theoretical, I think this room right here would be a great sample population because I don't know, just knowing mostly us, we would given super like rich or super like a lot of money, I feel like we'd still dress almost the same way.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
like
sure.
I'm too lazy to change, even if I had the money to.
The way that rich people stay rich is they just don't spend that much money. They know how to save.
Yeah, that's fair. But then on the other side, the reason I said our population sample is really interesting is because Jin, I feel like if you had the opportunity to flex, you would.
I mean, it's not just that. Just very into fashion. It made me happy. If I have money, I will try to buy nice things because,
yeah.
like, not just because I want people to look at me differently. It's because I want to wear those things and it made me happy myself.
That's fair. That's
Maybe
fair.
he's trying to find like that perfect balance between what you love to wear and what kind of like should be appropriate to wear, I guess.
That's true. I think you can almost look at Jin's fashion as, I don't know if hobby is the right word, but it's definitely like an interest. Like where I would pour a lot of money into one thing, one avenue. He would definitely put his money into clothes just because that's what he's into.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. I mean, how many pairs of clothing do you have in your closet right now?
I have no idea. I haven't counted, but it's a lot. You know what's funny? Because when I just moved in, like I'm having a studio right now, but when I just first moved in, I have a lot of clothes, so I actually donate like 6 to 8 boxes of clothes to like charity because I don't
Oh, I
have
want
enough
that.
storage unit. I don't have enough storage for all my clothes, so I just filter out the clothes I don't really wear, I don't like anymore. I just donate to like charity or to other people.
I mean, having a big heart's always a good thing, but next time remember that there are 3 bums right here.
I'm always
That
I'm
could
always
totally
down for a
benefit.
donation box.
I don't know how well it would fit you guys. I mean,
Oh,
we
yeah,
have different
yeah.
sizes.
you're both
anyway.
pretty fucking swollen. I'm looking at you, Seth.
Hey man, if it don't work out, then sure.
Maybe I can stretch it out a little bit.
What size shoe do you wear?
Which one?
What size? Like
What size?
Yeah.
Oh, I wear like it depends on the brand, and sometimes I wear like 6.5, and sometimes I wear like 8. It depends on the brand, but normally I would say I'm like size 7 or 7.5. I would say.
Yeah. So
What-
shoes are out.
Dang it. Wait, I could put 2 shoes and one in front of the other. Maybe I could wear it.
Yeah, like Araz is like literally double your size.
I wear 13.
Wait, are you kidding me? Like because like sometimes very expensive brands, especially they are like for Italy or like France, like Gucci, like Louis Vuitton, their size are just go larger, even though it's 6.5, but normally like it fit as like 7.5. That's what it is.
Oh, is it? Okay, I could probably fit.
I just thought
So
like
yeah,
this.
like normally if you're size 13, like you might wear like size 12 or something in their brand. That's how I feel.
No, I just thought this question just popped up into my head where it's kind of like related to this question. But what if you go to like a different country? Let's say that like how we dress now, how will people think of us when we go to that different country? Let's say like an Asian country.
Yeah, it depends on the country entirely, big time. I mean, if you go to a first world country, the way that we dress now probably wouldn't be. I don't think that people would like take a second look. But if we went to a third world country, maybe they would.
I'm just thinking like I think it also depends on the culture because I know like in some Asian culture, especially Korean, people pay a lot of attention to appearance, especially if they don't try to look good. It's like you have this social pressure on you, you have to look good or dress out. If you don't, then people are going to like make fun of you or look down on you.
Okay.
I actually just read some research about it, how like it play a major role in people's self-esteem there in South Korea, and how like it has become a problem.
Dang.
And
Interesting.
yeah, and I also think like how here even in the US, like people coming from California, people coming from New York, coming from DC, from a different part of the region, they dress differently. Like in California, people dress very casually, like very very casually, and like I think in DC, I think it's because people go to office, like they actually dress more formal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. I mean, just going into DC, I mean, we do live in the metro area. You see a lot of people wearing suits and stuff like that.
Yeah, right when we came here, we were seeing like a bunch of business guys just
Oh yeah.
coming
Yeah.
by.
Like as we were waiting for Jen to come bring us into the apartment, I was like, oh man, it looks like the mafia's here.
But I guess I could see that. Like I don't know. I'm kind of really interested in like that research thing in South Korea. Like how are boys more affected than like is there like a gender thing
I think
going on
it's
over
a
there?
girl like.
Just gonna assume that it hits girls harder than it would hit guys.
Yeah.
Just gonna assume that.
Especially-
off the bat, because that's kind of how it works globally.
I think
Yeah.
that goes beyond clothes too in South Korea because I mean there's a lot of like cosmetic surgery going on. There's a lot of like skincare routines that
Yeah,
are
you
like,
have to look good.
super
you,
in depth.
you have to look perfect just to get a job. I mean, South Korea does have that. It's hyper competitive.
Yeah.
overpopulation, small area. It's become a big issue.
And also, like, I really like South Korea, like, having a good look is actually a good quality that you have. People actually look at your face and your style, if you have good look and style, and they take that into consideration when they try to hire you. So it becomes a very important, like, qualification there. And then, like, how I read sometimes girls, like, some beauty blogger, they try to take off their makeup in front of all the audience, and then how they receive that threat because they do that. Some people actually be like, I'm going to find you, I'm going to kill you in South Korea.
What?
It's just crazy.
Wow, totally.
It's crazy. Like, I read all about it. So right now there's kind of like some girls are starting a movement. It's like, you know, I don't want to put makeup. I put makeup on because of society make me to do it. If they don't, they're like, some girls are like, oh, I just go down to the supermarket to get like a food, to get a drink. I have to put on my makeup. Otherwise people are going to look at me differently or weirdly.
Damn.
And that's how bad it is.
Wow.
But if you're doing that, if that treatment is being given to like even like a makeup artist, that's kind of like an actor trying to tell people, hey, I'm an actor. I actually have a real name. Like, I'm a real person. This is a stage name.
Yeah, no,
And then
my
they-
name's not Iron Man.
Yeah, I'm not Tony Stark.
I'm not
I'm Robert
Tony.
Downey Jr. And then you get shut down for it.
Yeah.
That's insane. But I do wanna venture into that question a little further. Actually, how would we be perceived if we went to other countries and stuff? So I'm kind of just gonna agree with you, Chris. There, whereas like if we went to another first world country, we'd be just somewhere between.
Well, we would look
tourist-
American.
Yeah, no, definitely
Yeah.
somewhere between tourist and working class, and just like a normal working class.
Honestly, first reaction, oh, okay, those guys are from America.
Yeah.
Like I'm brown as fuck, but
Yeah.
once they hear-
Even if you went to India, right?
oh, okay, so
You'd still probably look American.
So my extended family in India, you know what they call me? They call me and my siblings ABCD, American born confused Desi. If you don't know what Desi means, Desi is just a term for all brown people. So it's kind of derogatory. It's like, yeah, you're brown, but you're not brown.
I mean, we have a term called like, people who are Chinese but they were born here. We call them like ABC. American born Chinese, and sometimes we call them banana because they are like yellow outside and white inside.
Oh, that's like the opposite of me.
Yeah. But that's what people
Chris is an
call
egg.
and it's just funny. It's like they look Chinese but they're not Chinese. Yeah, I
that's
understand
true.
that.
I have a story the same as you guys. It's like when my family went to Laos, like my dad met up with the locals, and the locals instantly knew that they were from they're from America, because but my dad tried to like lie to them. He's like, oh, we're here, like we came from like some kind of village, but he's like, they knew that my dad wasn't like tan enough to be there.
Well, I think there's a lot of things. Maybe it's like the walk or the stature or
The talk, even the jargon.
there's
Yeah.
there's definitely a different maybe mentality, like American mentality versus
Yeah.
whatever.
And the way
country
they
you're in.
carry themselves is very important there. Like the way they carry themselves, like confidence and something, and also the way they dress, the way they dye their hair, the way they dress their hair. Just you can easily tell. You can tell if someone's from here, or someone's from China, or international, just by looking at them for like 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's very easy to tell.
Dang.
And on the other hand, it's very easy to tell when someone's not from America.
Yeah,
If you're walking around our college campus, which happens to be like super diverse, a lot of exchange students come here. You can instantly pick out people that are like foreign exchange, like instantly.
Like me, right?
Well, maybe, but there's a
So
there's a
you're-
certain picture I have in my head.
Yeah, but you're like, we would, but not for the same reason. For you
Yeah.
to just be like, man, that guy's bougie as fuck.
He's got the Chinese, like the rich Chinese way.
like I would totally expect to see you in like a sports car.
Well, I mean, Audi is close enough.
You have an Audi?
Oh my god.
He wants to get a Tesla, man. Don't you want to get a Tesla?
I mean, I do want one. Yes.
Yeah,
It's nice. It's a nice car. Okay.
it is.
Well, you're
Elon,
not wrong.
Elon did a good job. You could, I mean, they make them pretty cheap now. Like the $35,000 one. I mean, that's not
Yeah, that was a
super far
Yeah,
from.
that was what I was looking for,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was really nice. And I think why are we talking about car now? As we're talking about fashion.
Yeah, but
Well, maybe
Cars can be fashionable.
Yeah,
that's true.
Cars are almost an extension
Yeah.
of your fashion sense. I mean, would you? I personally.
I mean, if wearing clothes is putting clothes on you and it's around you, and you put yourself in a car, aren't you just wearing the car?
You're wearing sheet metal. Yeah, that's a good point. So I would never own one of those like Kia Souls, like those boxier
Oh,
cars. I'm not
the
a fan.
cubes.
I'm not a fan of the boxy car look. I don't know what it is.
Well,
it's just not for me.
From
What's
personal
boxy
experience,
car? I don't
do
know
y'all
what it is.
remember the Pimp-O-Mobile?
You know what a Kia Soul is?
Yeah.
Kia Soul.
You know, like
Kia
you're driving
Soul.
on the highway and you see those cars that look like
Like a cube.
squares, basically.
Like literally rectangular
Oh,
boxes.
I know what you mean. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Aesthetically, they look disgusting.
I don't like how
Hey.
they look.
Sorry for all the viewers out there that have a Kia Soul.
I'm sorry, you need to change your car. Or at least round out the edges a little
I'm
bit.
pretty sure you're really
Just
good
get some
people.
sandpaper. if you take sandpaper to a Kia Soul, it becomes a slug bug. It becomes a Volkswagen Beetle, man.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah,
No, for real though, like I drove, it was like kind of like a minivan type thing, but it was boxy. And my god, when the wind blew, your car shook.
Oh yeah.
When you try braking, like when you're going downhill, braking gets a lot harder. When you try going uphill, it's so slow. It's just because you don't have aerodynamicness.
That's
or whatever
what
it
about
is.
smart cars?
Smart car?
People
Oh,
who
the
drive-
small ones?
Yeah, people who drive smart cars.
Well, so that's, I can't talk shit about that because although, again, aesthetically it doesn't look that great, they actually have serve a purpose. We're talking about normal cars that have box shapes. I don't know why you bought it.
The smart car sounds ideal if you live in a city. We don't live in a city. I'm not into it.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't get it, but I can't shit
My
talk
aunt
people who
has
do
it.
have it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my aunt has it.
You know,
Yeah.
that's what?
Yeah, my. But when I was riding the car, just always afraid like we hit something and the car is gonna get tripped over. And,
Yeah, it's either you hit something or something hits you. Either
Yeah,
way.
like,
you're
You're
so
always
screwed.
a loser in a smart car.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you would have to be on a road filled with other smart cars, and then it's more like bumper cars.
I know it's just bad. Like I don't feel safe. Like
Well, in that
riding
case, you
those
could double the
cars.
amount of lanes with the same amount of space.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But I feel like Jin, you have pretty great taste in cars as well. Maybe not in America. Well, yeah, in America too, but in China you have a pretty impressive. Like,
Actually, read about that as well. It's funny. We are talking about how clothes can affect a person's behavior. How like a clothes can speak to someone's personality, and actually read about how the car of the what kind of car that you are driving can speak to a personality as well. Like you know, if a sports car probably going to be like louder personality, and someone who drive like Audi is probably going to be more calm than someone who drive like a Mercedes or something. Actually read about that, which is funny. The brand you choose and the car model you choose actually speak to a personality as well.
that makes sense. I mean, I
That's
think
why we have Jin here, man.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like experience on that? Like driving your cars making you feel differently? Because I actually have a story.
Like you personally are driving a different car.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean,
So like I drove like usually just personal cars, but my sister one time, her car got in an accident, but it wasn't her fault. So like the insurance like gave her like a replacement car, and it was supposed to be like a similar size, but the people are nice and like, yo, we have an F-150.
oh well.
You just want that? And she's like, fuck yeah. So here's the thing. I know F-150s and everything, they have like a stigma for like people who think they have big dicks and stuff.
Right, and that's what I was gonna bring up actually. Like,
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna fucking lie. So I drove it, and I swear, it makes you feel powerful.
Yeah.
I'm driving, and under where my feet are kind of are is where other people's cars top stop.
Right.
Like I'm huge. It's a gas guzzler, but man, I felt good. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I own the road.
My family used to have a Ford Expedition, which is like really big, like tall car too. Not my favorite thing in the world to drive. Like that's kind of what I started learning on, and then I went to a Jeep. Neither one of those were for me. Eventually, I just got like a Honda. You know what I'm saying? But my brother got a Mazda 6, and it's so much more like sporty than my car. Like aesthetically, they're around like they're both sedans, right?
Uh-huh.
But my car, I mean, there's a button to turn it on economy. His, there's a button to turn it on like sport. So it's like the opposite. I mean, like when he puts the sport on, it hauls ass. Like it's pretty awesome. Like it's fun. So I mean,
Alright.
that's definitely a different vibe. Like for me, I do like my Honda because it's like, I don't know, it's just economical. It fits like this area, I guess. But I would love to have something a little faster and like a little bit more like some more oomph, man.
Yeah, so for me, I like small cars with high acceleration and a lot of maneuverability. That's my thing.
That's true.
Big, cumbersome cars. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fun to drive in a straight line
Yeah.
for a while, but like parking sucks.
Yeah, as soon as you get to the part where you actually have to like put it somewhere, that's a little harder. And you know, it's harder to take a F-150 into a city than it is like a Honda Civic or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I feel like that's true.
Son, do you have any experience driving different types of cars?
I mean, I have my dad's car, and there's like a Honda. What kind of Honda is it? I don't know. It's just a small car, and then usually my other car is pretty
Isn't it a
big.
Fit?
Like,
It's a
yeah, it's
Fit, right?
fit compared to a Accord. So it's kind of like different in a way, like how I usually think of parking and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
it's about that. It feels different. It feels weird from what I usually do. But
On the scale of cars out there, has anyone driven like a truck or something?
yeah, I have.
Or like that?
Yeah, for my job.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I've driven a truck a couple
Oh my
times.
god, trucks are different.
I feel
from my
like
job.
I've never driven a truck.
I don't see I can ever drive a truck. It's just too much to me. Like I feel dangerous. I feel unsafe driving one.
Yeah, I'm not talking like a pickup truck. I'm talking like a real truck or like a real bus.
Like a
Oh,
U-Haul truck.
No.
No? Okay.
No, I never have.
Okay.
Like, do you need a special license for those
Yeah,
trucks?
you do.
No.
You need a
Yeah.
CDO.
You need training. Yeah.
My dad has that.
Oh, true.
Yeah, he's trained.
Oh
to
yeah.
do that.
Oh, that's cool.
Commercial
Oh
driver's
my
license.
god.
But I now I'm going back to the dress question. Now I have another question that pops up. What about like celebrities? You know, like people look at the magazines and stuff like that. Like seeing them how they dress. Like
Kanye.
how
has
does
a
this
unique-
affect us in a way?
Well, Kanye has a unique talent where he spends lots of money on clothes, but manages to look, like shit. Yeah.
And then a lot of people, yeah, they do buy from high-end like clothes brands and all sorts of stuff, but sometimes you see them wearing, like, they look good, no doubt, but you can see how they just mix and match things that without inspiration, I wouldn't have been able to do that. If I
Yeah.
wore that, I would have looked weird. But once someone does it, it looks good, and now it's like an acceptable trend.
It's like the other part of that is they're also celebrities, so they can get away with more stuff.
Mhm.
And when they do it, it's cool. If I did something like that, probably wouldn't look the best on me.
Yeah, so
Pacemaker.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
although
pacemaker.
they kind of get the good and the bad there, where they're under more scrutiny by people, but at the same time, because they have more power, they can kind of like forge their own way. They can make a guess. They can mix and match something that otherwise normal people wouldn't, and they could people let it fly. It's like, oh, it's them.
You know, what's your opinion, Jin? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely think it's true because you have seen a lot of Instagram vlogger. They start like a male trend, and they start like dress out in a certain way, and then people start following them. But if you are just a nobody and you wear things like that, and people see you on the street, they're probably gonna make fun of you. Because I'm not sure if that's true. I think the yoga pants, the trend started with Kim Kardashian, the family, and then now a lot of girls actually wearing all those yoga pants. That's why I read, but I don't know if it's whole true or not.
Yeah. So I'm thinking just like how celebrities like and their fashion kind of like affect us. in a
Yeah,
way,
definitely. And
If I just took that example further, like, I don't think it'd be appropriate for us to walk around in yoga pants. However, just have a couple celebrities do it while wearing slightly longer shirts, and I think I think it'd be kind of normal for guys to do it after a few years.
I would wear a crop top.
also,
Crop yoga pants.
there's another thing that
I mean, you look good in it, man.
And thanks, man.
Probably.
What are you doing after this?
There's another thing I think people fail to take into consideration is the body build, because all of celebrity, all of model, all of like beauty bloggers actually have a very nice body. When you actually have a very nice body, no matter what you wear, it's going to look good on you. But if you don't have that much of a nice body or the nice of a face and you wear those things, it might look ridiculous.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
I think because all the models like on the fashion show, they're very tall, skinny, and have long leg. A lot of celebrity, they meet the criteria. So when they wear those things, no matter what they wear, no matter what they put on, they don't even need to try that hard. It's going to look good. But if someone who doesn't have a perfect body, like try to wear the same thing, it's going to look completely different. It might make them look more ridiculous then. So I think people fail to take that into consideration as well.
Society's understanding of like what a perfect body
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
and people model after that, and then the clothes are made for those type of people sometimes.
Yeah.
I think that people can usually find something that will look good on them, like regardless of.
Oh yeah, no, there's a style for everybody.
Of what
But I
they
do
would
get
look
what you're
like.
saying.
But if you just have the beauty standard, the body and everything, just compare our clothes, and you try it on, you can just take it and go.
It's kind of like those cut-off shirts that I pretty much stopped wearing because I'm not muscular.
I think I'm gonna jump on Jin's thing. Like, have you guys ever seen those photos of just the ridiculous like fashion that models have to wear?
Yeah.
Like some of them have to wear just like bubble outfits or like
Yeah,
giant wing outfits.
definitely.
Like, they wear it. I think it looks stupid, but all the people like
Right,
they're watching
okay.
like the fashion
Look,
shows.
I
They
mean,
love it.
I'm gonna be honest. It looks fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they like.
Well, I think that's because like we're us. I wonder if Jin, if he went to a fashion show, he'd be like. He would
I personally wouldn't wear anything like that. I think it's ridiculous as well. I think like sometimes I make fun of it as well because I think just too extra. Because like I really do have a very simple and style that I just want to wear like things as simple as possible. I don't really like the big brands showing on my shirts.
I think that's true. I think the four of us are all kind of like that. We're all pretty similar in how we are like simple, but
Fair.
maybe we have different kind of approaches to
I
it.
can see that. As bougie as you are, it's also simple. It's like simple but good.
Yeah,
It's like,
he's like
Thank you.
Like it's literally like you get what you pay for. You know.
yeah,
It's like-
yeah, that's true.
None of us like glitter our bodies.
Because the simpler the clothes is, the more the simpler the clothes is, the harder that you are going to wear it, make it look good. Because like simple clothes, like when it comes to, if someone wants to look good in simple clothes, the simple clothes has to have like very good cut and very good material and very good, you know, like to fit the body. And sometimes the material they use like cotton or it's like something else, it can look different on someone's body. And also the cut, the length, some little detail matters a lot when it comes to simple clothes. That's how you can tell. Even if like simple clothes, as simple as a gray t-shirt, you buy it from like very cheap, like maybe like H&M, and you get it from like Dior, that can look completely different. Even though you don't see the brand, but they look different.
So like a $20 like gray shirt compared to like a $200 one is completely.
They do look different. They do look different. Even though you can see the brand, they look different. Just the way they fit your body.
I think that's
It's
true.
different.
I'm wearing a $5, maybe it's like $7 H&M like polo shirt because I refused to pay more than that for like just work clothes. I mean, it's just not that important to me. If I had the money, maybe I would spend a little bit more to get a better cut shirt.
So I'm gonna refute that. And this is kind of something that we've kind of mentioned before. Is like when buying clothes, we're so damn picky. Not just picky about like, you know, cut and stuff, but like pricing. If it's 15, I don't know. But if it's 7,
We're picky about price tags, yeah.
But when we go out to eat, something that will only last us a few hours, if not, and the experience will last a day or two maybe. And even if you do have food at home,
Depends on how spicy it was.
okay, fair.
Oh my god.
But we're willing to drop just 10 or 15 Korean barbecue, $20.
Yeah.
We just
shit,
drop it
I
on
mean,
a dime.
It's
go to
only
the-
once in a while.
Yeah, you go to the
Only once in a while, but still, like,
Brazilian places,
but
man.
that $7 shirt will last you years if you take care of it. So like,
It's true.
I think it's just kind of a mental thing.
Yeah.
It's well, we have different priorities as well.
Okay, that's
The
probably
priorities are definitely not only the food. Like the food is great, definitely, but
Actually,
it's,
usually experience with
it's
the
also
keeper.
like a social experience. Yeah, like I don't really get that much utility out of buying a shirt or like clothes or something. Like I think that I've only been really excited about like a couple of things in my life, and my Clarks are one of those. Like I love those shoes, man. But I feel like it's different for someone like Jin too. Like as much as he loves to go out and be social as well, he also just gets a lot out of owning like the certain clothes that he likes.
Yeah, okay, I guess you made your point. I can accept that. That makes sense. Where you kind of like, you feel good about wearing clothes. Even if other people don't appreciate it, you feel good about, you know, the way you... See, I don't care enough.
I just feel like, you know, people like different things and they want to spend their money on different things. Maybe for someone who's very into anime, they might spend a lot of money, like thousands, maybe 10,000, 20,000 for anime, you know, get those toys or get those like, you know, those models.
Like dress up
Yeah.
and stuff.
And if someone's very into basketball, they might spend so much money on getting very good basketball shoes. Someone
Like Jordans.
I know
Yeah.
people like that.
Someone who's really into like some games or some CDs, they might spend a lot of money to collect all the games and CDs. It depends on like what do you value the most.
Right.
And there's no like such thing as like, oh, you shouldn't spend this, you shouldn't spend this. People like what they like.
That's like the point I was trying to make earlier.
Alright,
That's
priorities.
like where I was going with the hobby thing. Like obviously that wasn't the right word, but I think he worded it a lot better just there.
Yeah, because I love to wear like graphic T-shirts all the time. Everyone knows my wardrobe is just usually just graphic T-shirts.
Yeah,
and
all
stuff.
5 of them.
I thought it was 4.
I think you got a new one recently.
Oh, okay.
As you can see, I don't have a lot of variety of clothing.
For me, yeah, I cycle between the same like 3 or 4 shirts, and that's it.
To be honest with you, I do too, but I don't think it's as noticeable because I only wear solid color shirts, and so it's a lot more like ambiguous. I think.
Yeah, but when it comes to graphic tees or like the cutoffs that I wear, it's kind of obvious when I wear the same shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I read something the other day that was like, try not to spend too much money on, like, say, a really flashy suit, because the only thing that people will know, the only thing that people will notice about it is how often you wear it. Versus, like, if you wore something a little bit more like toned down, you can wear it to a number of different functions, and people will just see you wearing a suit. They won't see you wearing that same suit again and again and again.
Yeah, exactly.
Although that's fair, if I wear a nice suit and it's unique enough that if I wear it again, everyone will know, I'd still like it. So fuck you, you know? I'm kind of that
it comes down
mentality.
to like it comes down to your interpretation of, is that positive or is that negative.
Oh, fair.
So objectively, they'll notice it. It's up to you to decide if you like that or not.
Like, I only have like 2 good button-down shirts that actually, like, is that multicolored one and the orange one, and they're both unique enough that if I ever wear it again, it's very obvious, right? But I see what you're saying. Like, if I had a bunch of like blues and grays and like just solid colors,
Right. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I could wear them again and again, and there would be no problem.
Yeah.
There's this one like short sleeve button down shirt that I like to wear to like.
Is it the one you're wearing right now?
No, it's not. It's not this one. I know the one you're
No,
talking about.
it's like the blue one with the white dots on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one.
I love that shirt, man. But
It's a great shirt.
it's awesome, but like I don't wanna wear it too much because I wear the same, like I cycle through like 4 or 5 different shirts every week for work. Like in the wintertime I'll wear the long sleeve polos or what do you call it? Like the long sleeve shirts, and then in like, you know, summertime just wear the polos.
Not gonna lie, wintertime is a great time for our fashion sense because we just wear that one sweater over and over.
Yeah.
Because it's a sweater, the rules are different.
Yeah,
you
the
can
rules are
repeat.
different. Yeah.
You know that, which is so funny. Remind me of like how in China we have like when we how can we tell about someone who's a bit toxic masculine? It's by the way they dress. Like we have a guidebook how to identify the guys who's toxic masculinity, and it's very interesting. Like it's just a stereotype. It's just like there are 3 things a guys wear. They could be an indication of that. One is the graphic t-shirt. A lot of graphic t-shirt. The second one is polo. A lot of polo, and the third one is a lot of shirts. There's like make up like stripes, and you know what I mean? The stripes down the shirt. These are 3 things. Like, oh, if a girl you see guys wearing owning all these clothes, stay away from that. It's very funny. It's like how we make fun of it. Like in China, it's just
Interesting.
So
maybe remind me of that.
we hit 2 out of 3 just now.
Oh man.
Feels like
Sunny's filled with toxic masculinity.
because like
I'm like bursting at the seams.
because when you wear too much graphic t-shirt, it gives people's impression of you are not really calm, mature, because it's really middle school and high school. No offense, I don't think that, but some people think that. And if you wear
middle school and high school, I
and
don't
if
wear
you-
t-shirts.
and also if you wear a lot of polos, it's going to give out people impression that you look really old, because a lot
Yeah.
of old people or workers they wear polo, so
Yeah.
you don't want to go too extreme on those things. That's why like you shouldn't wear a lot. So I think Chris is right. So we don't know a lot about fashion. The safest way is just to get a very simple thing that design, just plain color, because that's always the safe choice.
That's true.
So I've been playing the game wrong my entire life.
And you look good in polo. I'm not saying about you look
No,
good in graphic
but-
t-shirt. Like I'm not trying to be mean.
No,
No, it makes sense. It makes
Well,
sense.
ever since someone told me I look old lately, I just feel old now.
Well,
I think it's the
I will say,
polo because you see
you
a lot of
don't-
old people wear polo.
It's
So
true.
long.
It may or may not be because of polo, but I think it's more just because you start working.
Yeah.
You definitely look older.
I feel like I look older. I mean, I
Work
wear
is
like,
getting
But you know what I
Yeah.
will say? Today, I'm liking the way your beard.
The 5 o'clock show.
Oh, you like this? I just started doing this.
Bro, that's pretty much how I do it, but with more hair,
I
obviously.
haven't shaved in a week.
This is 1 week. This is 1 week for me.
Yo,
Yeah.
Chris,
More than a
that's
week
like
after
2 days
the-
after I shave.
I've been
Yeah,
shaved
that's crazy. We all have different rates. It's all good.
I'm
pretty sure
brown.
you want
Brown
me
people just get
how-
hairy faster.
You guys
I
can't
don't have that
see
much
this
beard.
part. This would probably be better in like visual form.
Why? You guys have no idea what we're talking about. I can't see our faces.
We're just
I
talking
mean, just
about
look,
beard
just
lines.
look at our freaking picture. That's how we look.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
pretty much captured exactly.
But that
how it
5
is.
o'clock shadow is like my aesthetic there. I love it.
Yeah,
I can't
don't know
capture
why
it, but I like it.
I don't know why I didn't start doing the beard line sooner. Because before this, I just looked like I didn't have a
neck.
jaw.
Your neck just continued with your
Yeah,
face.
it just looked like.
That's how I feel.
My jaw and my neck and everything were just like the same thing.
Oh my
'Cause, like,
God.
That's why for
this
me,
neck
like,
beard thing.
I change it myself every once in a while, but I always did the jawline. I
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah,
The cut just looks so nice. I love it.
The cut, yeah, it looks sharp. I don't know. It just like I feel a little bit younger with this one.
And the thing is, like, we
happy
have.
with you. I do have a jawline, I think.
No,
Well, you have a razor sharp jaw.
you don't need a beard line to like.
I don't even have a beard to cut.
I know, but you don't. What I'm saying is, you don't need one to flex your nice jawline. You have a nice jawline.
Oh, thank you.
It shows. But like for us, we have nice jawlines, but definitely it shows much more if we.
It's highlighted, it accented,
Yeah,
it
for
pops
sure.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't. I might not know much, but I can do a beard.
Yeah, to your credit, you always have the hair and the beard on point for sure.
This,
Yeah, your hair
I have
and
no
your
idea what I'm
beard.
doing with my hair right now. It's just
Even if it does look like messy, it still looks like you're doing
I
something.
only look good when it's messy. I tried combing it, and I look like a dweeb.
Yeah, it's like that's how you maintain the good image. It's like you look and you try, but you don't try too hard. It's very casual.
Yeah.
You know, that's good.
Yeah.
So
that's
for me,
true.
it's I don't try, and I hope I get lucky.
I think hair also has to affect how people interpret us.
Oh yeah,
as well.
hair's big.
I mean, I'm looking at Chris's hair. He looks sleek. Ross' hair, nice and curly, looks really nice. And then Jin's like,
Well, thank you.
Jin looks really nice too. And then
Jin's got
me,
the
I'm like right now I'm just like a constant bedhead. And I like it. I like my bedhead hair.
No,
And I think it suits Sunny actually.
Yeah.
normally bedhead would have a negative connotation, but looking at Sunny, I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
It's like no, I feel like that's a trend for Sunny all the time. Is like whatever the rule is, Sunny breaks the rule, but it works.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Like we talked about that last podcast too, where it's like we were saying, oh man, if someone other than Sunny said this thing, I can't remember.
It
what
would come off as annoying, or like,
Yeah.
like what? Because there's always that like one annoying person making jokes and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I did this. Like, well, nobody cares. But when Sunny does, it's like, well, that's fucking hilarious. I
It-
think we're talking
yeah.
about you like rolling down,
Oh yeah.
or something. I forgot
rolling
what. I forgot
down.
what the context was.
Check out the Ak.
Too much aqua guac.
Yes, check that out. If you want
It's
to
a
know
good-
more.
I didn't realize how much of a douche I sounded like until after I listened to that podcast. I was
Wait, for
like,
real?
wow.
Wait, you sound like a douche.
Dude, I felt like I sounded like such a douchebag.
What about? So we think about clothes, how appearance, all of that. Like, what about how we speak? How does that also affect
That's
how
big.
people perceive us?
I think Jen
Jen-
should start.
Why?
Just
I
tell
mean,
us your thoughts on speech.
I do believe that, especially like living in this country that are not from here, having an accent, it someone perceive you differently. And I think like, yeah, the way you speak definitely, and also the tone you speak, and also like, because like if you have a very creepy voice, or it's people are going to perceive you differently. And if you have a very calm voice, even though in the interview you can just tell, like people just, it's like close when you speak, like it speak to your character as well. Even though like it might be something that you can control, but people actually make stereotype, make assumption about you based on your voice.
That's fair. And you mentioned accent. The first one you mentioned
Yeah.
was accent, and that is strong. And one thing I read that actually made me appreciate people's accents a little more is if they have an accent, that probably means they know another language and you don't.
Yeah.
Right? And then and obviously like as kids we grow up making fun of people's accents and stuff. You know, living in America now I feel bad
Yeah.
because yeah, I am Indian, but I can barely speak any language other than English. So so props to those people first of all.
If someone judges you based on your accent anyway, especially
They're
like,
an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Well,
just no
that's
other way
it.
to put it. There's just no way to get around
Like
it.
you're an asshole for doing that.
I mean, it's so impressive. I mean, I'm in an environment a lot of the time where people are like, 2 to 3, maybe even more than that, like speakers of languages.
Really?
And that's yeah. I mean, anytime I go over to my girlfriend's house, they're her parents, they have the kind of not I wouldn't say thick, but they have the noticeable like Filipino accent. Because their first language is Tagalog, but I don't know. I mean, it's always really interesting hearing them speak in Tagalog, and I always just wish that I could understand it. So it's like, I mean, if you have an accent, yeah, I mean, it really is like Ross said. It's like it's just something to show that you're just like above these people that only speak one like me.
Yeah, but like speech doesn't. It's not only accent. Like, you also mentioned other things like tone and how you talk. Like I actually have specific stories. I I speak in a lot of slang, right? I curse very constantly.
Yeah.
Very high school mentality, right?
Did you just sum us up?
Well, yeah, I guess I did.
Yeah, that's pretty much how we do.
But I used to hang out with a crowd of people who were okay with like certain words, like that.
I know the one.
and yeah, that's the word I'm thinking of. And it used to be okay, and then I meet a new crowd of people, and then it was not as okay. But so when I go home and we speak super like formally, not formally, but like I don't curse in front of parents, obviously. So we're talking and stuff, and then I slip into some of my slang. I start like slurring some of my words, talking the way I'm talking right now. This way, I don't talk this fast to my parents because they speak another language. Talk a little slower to let them understand all that good stuff.
Right.
Anyways, my mom randomly was like, "Why are you talking like that?" I was like, "Why are you talking street?" I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Because I was just talking fast, and I forgot that sometimes delivery is big. When I get uncomfortable, you guys probably notice, I start speaking really like a slow drawl. I use big words, right? I don't do it on the podcast because I'm super comfortable with you guys. But yeah, no, delivery makes a huge difference how people perceive you.
Yeah, and adding to that, I just feel like it's very interesting because it's not just about the accent, it's also about what people use. Maybe not as much in this country, but like in England, people from different social class, they use like different words that refer to the same thing. They actually speak to someone's social class there, and like even though like I think India as well, like people like who speak English and people who don't speak English, and then like they associate that with class too. And also one thing that I found very 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 interesting is I have two Indian friends. They're from India. They have different accent. It's like when they speak with their Indian family in English, they have a different accent. And when they try to speak with someone who's foreign, they have a different accent. So they can like code switch in between these two different accents. And it's really interesting. I think the other thing about like having in this country is just like a lot of like African American black people, they have different accents as well. Whereas when the accent they use when they speak to like people in their community, the African American community, they use an accent. And when they speak to people who are not in the community, they can use a different accent. And I just think it's very interesting how you can code switch.
I feel like the same applies to like all my brown family members and stuff. Like, yeah, there's an accent when we speak to each other, but it actually changes when we speak to other people. And I've been to the Filipino friend's house. I've been to some of your house, and it's noticeable. It changes because also not only are you self-conscious, but you're also trying to help the other person understand. Like
when you go to the South and you're originally from the South, you start saying y'all a lot more. I mean,
okay, I'm not gonna lie. I went to Texas for only 1 month for this intensive, and ever since I now use y'all normally.
Yeah, it's like unironic at that point. Yeah.
I'm not even from here. I went to Texas for a few days, and then like I start saying y'all. I was like, everyone keeps saying that. I was just saying like I just start saying that. And I start saying that as well.
See, I'm not like we're not being stereotypical. It just so happens that everyone actually does say y'all. I always thought it was a joke, but it's real, and it just grows on you. You don't have to say you all or all of you or hey everyone. You can just say y'all.
I think that's what's at play. I mean, when you're talking about the different accents with different people, it's the same deal. I mean, it's almost like geographical too. It's like South versus like Boston or something.
Like even here, like in America, like people from Boston, people from New York, people from California, they have different accent, and they also like different word to call the same thing, and they have different slang. It's like when I was in California, everyone keeps saying awesome all the time, but I don't hear that word here in DC area that often. Like people don't really say it. But in California, everyone's like awesome. I'm like, okay.
That's like Coke, soda, and pop.
Okay, I was gonna say soda and pop. If someone says I want pop, I'm gonna feel weird. I'm like, huh? I'll have to take a second, like, listen to that.
I would think popcorn.
Don't you make fun of me saying, like, call you, like, garage instead of, like, garage?
Oh, garage.
I said that. And I'll also say something like, I don't know, I call you lavatory and lavatory or something.
Oh,
it's just weird.
You said lavatory instead of bathroom?
Like, lavatory. Sometimes you say, I also say, like, laboratory instead of, like, lavatory. And then I just call you differently. I call you differently sometimes. Like, I call you a vase. That's a vase, no vase. Yeah, that's how I learned the word.
So that might just also be speaking to your bougie understanding of life.
Well, the other thing
it actually is a boss.
The English that he learned was of like the English variety, not like
Yeah.
American English.
Like when I first
Yeah, my
learned the
parent-
word, I know it in this pronunciation. It's like I know the word advertisement instead of advertisement. That's how I learned my English. That's why I
See,
call it.
Most of my parents, because they speak English like super well, but of course they have an accent. Most of their like Indian accent actually isn't Indian Indian. It's British Indian. It's because of colonization. So
Yeah.
like they learn through the the British education system and how they say words. Like caliber, they say caliber,
Oh, interesting.
which pisses me off. But I mean, hey, so it's just interesting. How
Yeah,
they
it's
say
very interesting.
different words and different things.
Like the reason why I just brought this up is because you guys met my dad. My dad has a stutter, and so I go to this temple, and basically I met my dad's ex-girlfriend.
What?
Yeah, so my mom told me, and she's like, "Hey, you see that woman over there?" I'm like,
Oh,
"Yeah."
whoa.
Like that's your dad's ex-girlfriend, and
She will never
So
forget
my mom told me why they broke up. It was because of my dad's stutter. Like she didn't like him like speaking like that, and it kind of made me sad because like
That's fucked
that's
up.
how like
That's rude, right?
like people can judge you because of how you speak, and just because of like my dad stuttering, it's like she dumped him because of
That's
that.
so bad.
And it makes me feel bad. So and I just thought of the question like how can like voice or how we speak can affect how people think of us like that way. So it just makes me sad just think like the only reason why she like dumped him was because
That's
he
a
spoke
strong
like that.
example that really proves that it really does make a difference. But also, she wasn't good enough then.
Yeah, jeez.
Well, it was all a plan, like a divine plan, because if your dad got with that woman, we would have never had you, Sonny.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it all worked out for the best.
It did.
I mean, she looked like a bitch anyway, so.
Yikes.
Fair enough. Oh man.
Well, what else? What else do we...
I mean, like, there's so many things. We're all accumulating now, just like voice, dress, like hair, cars.
Yeah, it's
Like-
almost like what is your self-image projected outward?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I have a good one. Height.
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 Yes.
That's very interesting.
I wish that I could choose it. I wish I could be a little bit taller.
I think I make fun of short people more than I make fun of tall people.
Yeah, I think the world, society makes fun of short people more than tall people.
Yeah.
I just think they're
me-
just a lot cuter when they're smaller. You know?
Well, not gonna lie, short people are cuter. I will say that. But I meant more like how you're perceived by people. Not just like, oh,
By your
There's a
height.
lot of psychology that goes into that. That's like you're a lot more likely to get the job if you're taller than you are. If you're
what for real?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things
Short
that go
people
into
are so
height.
much more energetic though. Like, I'm lazy as fuck.
Well, there's a certain presence that you have when you walk into the room and you're like 6'3" versus if you're like 5'6"
Yeah, like-
or something.
So
That's
I can speak to that. So I was thinking less of the jobs and interview setting, but I guess
Just in general
I'm
society.
thinking
Yeah.
sports. Like,
Well,
you
sports you have to be tall for a different reason, unless
so-
you're
so-
a jockey.
Yeah, so there's an actual like physical requirements almost where a difference in height can mean the difference in performance, right?
Right.
Yeah, so
I
I think
can't join the NBA.
no, you
You
can.
gotta be like 6'4" as a general rule to be the shortest position, which is a point guard. The tallest people get up to like 6'10" to like 7'1" ish. So I mean, even the shortest
heck?
people on the team are like 6'4". There's a few exceptions in there that are like 6 foot, but they're really rare. I mean, general rule is like 6'4".
Yikes.
Oh my god.
See, I was thinking more in the setting of just like not friends, but just people that you meet like in a classroom or whatever, or people you're acquainted with but not friends yet, stuff like that. Because that's kind of how the entirety of high school and middle school really is.
Mhm.
And I just know that being tall and dark makes a huge difference on how people see you. Like there's intimidation whether I want it or not.
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I mean, a lot of
We can contest the last
girls,
one.
yeah, parental guys, yeah. And I feel like you also, like, if you're tall, people are less likely to bully you because, like, you know you are tall and or something. I think you play a part there as well.
That's true, yeah. Because
Yes.
if you're tall, you look like you can beat the shit out
Yeah.
of someone.
You see, I
And
could
that's
not-
where the intimidation comes from, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was never like the object. I was in high school after I hit the growth spurt. I was never the object of being bullied or anything along those lines, because I was like, I don't know. I had the ability to run over anyone. I never would. I never would. It's because I mean, you guys know me, but it's just just without even knowing me, people would prejudge, which usually sucks. But at the same time, no one messed with me, which is also kind of nice. They just let me read my book in peace.
Yeah,
whatever.
that's pretty nice, man. Like Gentle Giant or something.
Joy.
I mean, I feel like
No, I'm the BFG man.
Yeah, true.
I feel like I would go towards more taller people when I want to make friends with anybody. Like,
But
I
see,
don't know,
Sonny,
Jim,
you were
for
the
me-
exception to every rule. You will literally make friends out of anyone.
I would
True.
go for a short person, and maybe that's why I became friends with Panita from our Origin Story podcast.
Mhm.
Like one of my first friends over at our university, man. Because she's like super short, but she was also. I feel like that leads to you being more approachable, and so maybe that's why I was more hesitant with you as well, Eros, because you are
dark and scary.
well, you have a much like larger presence in the room than someone
Yeah.
like Panita does.
Especially
That's
when we met, I was a little more physically intense
Yeah.
in my presence.
That's true. Yeah.
What about when you met Jin, Chris? Like
First time,
Yeah,
he
first
was
time.
sitting down, I think. Weren't you sitting down or something?
I have no idea. I don't even remember.
It was at the university. I think he was sitting down or something. That I don't know. I feel like because Jin, although he's tall, he's got the height. He doesn't have the width
Yeah.
Oh my god, let me tell you
that
this.
Eros carries.
It's so bad just because I'm very like tall, but I'm so skinny. I still look very weak to a lot of people, and people actually take advantage of that sometimes, like in club or something. It's just bad.
Oh wow. My mom gets concerned. He's like, "Do you have to go feed Jin or something?" My mom's concerned that you're too skinny.
Your mom said that?
Yeah.
When?
She just tells me sometimes you have to make sure Jin eats.
Oh my god, I'm touched that your mom cares about me. Oh my god.
Well,
Yeah.
now comes the real question. You eat?
I eat a lot, ask Chris. I do eat.
That's true. I mean, we eat good all the time, man. When we go out
That's
to
good, that's
Bonchon,
good.
anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Whatever we go and do.
nah.
Because we're almost the same height, but I can definitely see that the presence that from. Okay, so here's the thing. Like I hang out with a lot of short people, and the issue then becomes when I meet somebody that my exact height. For me, so for some reason they just seem taller. Just because I'm not used to looking at that. So when I see someone who's like 6'3", just like a couple inches taller than me, I'm like, man, that guy's a fucking giant. And everyone's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, yeah.
I feel like my perception.
Ross
of
doesn't
people-
like look down. Like
Yeah, Eros always looks down.
Yeah, so I'm just so used to it. So I sometimes forget that to other people, I'm actually stupidly tall.
Eros told me I'm the most average person he's ever met before.
Wait, he said that about
yeah,
you?
he's like,
Okay, so here's the thing. You are the most, like, I don't know, vanilla person I know. And it's not because you're white. It's not because you're white. It's because you're just... Look, you're...
it's because I'm always in the 50th percentile of the bell curve every time. That's why.
It's like you don't have a big beard, but you're not clean shaven. You're like, you just got enough.
Mm-hmm.
You're muscular.
Like 5'9".
You work out. I don't know, man. You're like the perfect.
I'm just middle of the pack, everything. I don't excel at anything in particular, but I'm not weak at anything. I'm like the character in the RPG game that you just like give the shitty assignment to or something. There's no specializing.
I will say that.
It's like
No.
it's like what's another example? It's like in Mario Kart or something. It's just the one where like all the bars are exactly like even. And so you just pick that one.
I think I just make fun of you because you're white.
yeah. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, because I feel like I'm a unique
Definitely.
specimen among you guys.
Because we're all overly diverse to the point where you're the only white dude, really, that we hang out with.
In the country, like on average, I'm like the rule, but
like in our
with
group,
our
when we
friend
hang out,
group,
when we
I'm
talk.
definitely the exception.
Not to mention, you're pretty much an egg. You may look white, but you're like very Asian. And,
Yeah,
like
that's why we get along.
You're very Asian. Oh my god, yeah, I start calling you an egg, alright?
Yeah.
I call you that. I was like, you're an
Nah,
egg.
it makes sense.
it makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like the stuff that you guys are into, man, or what you cultures have to offer. I guess I don't know.
Now I'm just thinking about like parents, like how parents see us, like whenever we meet our like you guys' parents at all, like how I met Ross's parents,
Wait,
my
hold up.
My parents love
like how
all three of you.
Oh, okay.
My parents,
Your parents
love
love-
you guys. Yeah.
Oh.
All right, so here's the thing: like everyone's parents love Sunny. All right, everyone, and I think we probably should hit on this a little before, like
My
what
mom
our
likes you
parents,
too. I like you too. My mom.
what our parents tell us about our friends is kind of a good look at, hey, what do people think about you guys?
Yeah.
That's true.
That's why I want to get into this. 'Cause,
Okay,
when parents talk about our friends, like that's how they perceive us, you know.
Yeah.
And
Alright.
to see
I
how
always trust my parents' judgment of someone more than my own judgment. That's like anytime you bring home a friend or you bring home like a new girlfriend or something like that, and then you let them get the vibe. If they like that person, there's a really good chance that they're actually a good person.
Okay.
I
Because
believe the same too.
really?
I mean, and that was a big thing for me was I really wanted to make sure that my parents liked or that I was liked by like my significant other's parents, because that's good for like twofold. You don't want to have conflict down the road,
Of
like,
course.
choosing between like your spouse and like your family
Yeah,
you're born into, but it's also like you just really want to have that good like character judgment ahead of time so that there is no future conflict, you know what I mean? So it's good. My mom says that you have like a lot of swag. Yeah, she's like, man, I like Arash. He has so much swag.
Well, thank your mom, because that's nice.
I guess we could talk about what our parents say about
Each other?
Yeah, about each like all of us.
Well, what do your parents think of me and Arash? I mean,
So when Chris comes over, we'll be like, oh man, that's the white boy.
Well,
I think how my parents perceive like my friends is like their like nationality, I guess. Like Chris is like, like the white boy American.
well,
and
it's like when
Araz,
we like FaceTimed her brother. She's like, oh, white boy.
oh my, okay, yeah. So that's a story.
And
of
then, like-
itself.
Oh my god.
and
So-
then like when Araz comes over, like, oh, is that Indian boy? Like my mom doesn't remember by name; she remembers by faces and features.
And you know what? That's okay with me because
it's very fun because she's not judgy when she says that.
no, she's like the sweetest lady ever, and she always makes sure you're well fed too.
Yeah.
So if your mom meets me, is she going to remember me by all the Chinese?
Yeah, she will remember you that.
definitely.
That's how she remembers all of my
I'm going
friends.
to tell her that I'm like
The only
Thai then. You're going to remember as a Thai guy.
The only time
She'd be really surprised. She's like, oh.
Yeah, the only time she got like fake mad at us is when we came over a few times. She's like, "Tell me in advance so I can cook more food for you." And I'm like, "Okay."
See, if you tell her that you're Thai, she's gonna start speaking to you in Thai.
and then
She's like, oh yeah, and then she'll speak you some more. Like, oh, you're like, oh no.
I'm like, I'm Thai, but
I'm
like,
like-
no, I am from China, but I'm Thai, so I don't speak Thai.
What about you, Chris? Like, what about us when you like me?
Well, I told you like what my mom in particular thinks about. Like she just thinks that you're like very cool, funny guy, something,
Hey.
and just like really, I don't know, like charismatic. I think just friendly and I don't know, pretty much like what anyone would say about you is like what my mom would say about you. Like there's no difference there. And then Araz, like my mom just thinks that
I'm cool.
yeah, she just thinks
Swag.
that you're cool.
Swagger.
He's like, man, he's just got all that swag or something. And my mom just like loves Jin.
Really? Why? What did you say
Yeah,
about
why?
She's just like she just thinks you're funny, and she says she likes hearing you talk.
It is fun.
Oh, why?
I don't know. She's just like, man, I just love listening to Jin talk. It's funny.
Oh, why?
She clearly, likes you if she's making sure that you're fed. Chris.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No, because you've actually done a lot for my family. A lot of people don't know, but my dad had cancer 2 years ago. It was like stage 4 throat cancer from HPV virus.
Oh man.
So that's why like anti-vaxxers, man, it's not a good look. If he had the HPV vaccine, he would have never had cancer in the first place.
Oh.
Which is crazy. Yeah, I mean, think of those consequences. But Jin like sent us flowers, and he just did a lot of good stuff for my family. So I mean, obviously my parents love him. So yeah, but
I love that too.
I want to know what Iraz's parents think of us too.
Yeah.
So
I definitely feel like the mom and the dad have like different views.
very different views. Yeah. So.
I think I earned your dad's respect though.
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, what?
I think I earned your dad's respect.
Oh
'cause
yeah,
for actually doing it.
100%. Okay, so my parents don't really know Jin that much, but they've seen you guys, and they both love you, Sonny. And it's almost like it's pretty much the same story with everyone's parents. It's without really hearing too much. It's just like every time when you smile, you laugh. It's like, man, this boy's just genuine as fuck.
Yeah.
Right? And
genuine.
my mom, she just right off the bat. By the way, she's been like correct about you guys. Like when she says stuff to me, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much them. So like, she loves you for literally just your outward outgoingness and all that. I'm just gonna throw in a quick Razme drop in here. She's like, he's kind of funny, but like, he's like kind of like your style. He just stands there. I'm like, yeah, that's Razme.
That's hilarious.
So she was relating to me, and then okay, so Chris, you're super interesting. My mom instantly liked you, but she's like, does he have a job now? Because I don't know why, but I guess in pictures you like just wearing more business stuff. I'm like, yep, he has a job. And she's like, you either do, she guessed your major, but by school. She's like, you either do like business or you do something with money. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the field of study I had was a lot more related to money, but now it just took a complete like left turn for me. It was very
Left turn.
yeah, it's just like super random. I never thought I would be into like data science and programming shit after studying economics. But yeah, she was right about that. I do love that.
So she kind of like, I mean, he's kind of quiet, but like, he seems like a nice boy. I'm like, yeah, you get to know him, that's exactly what you're gonna think.
Yeah.
And my dad's a little different. He kind of agreed immediately on Sunday. He's like, yeah, I like this kid. He just thought you were one of my friends. And after a while, he's like, that's pretty funny. Like if you were in the same room as my dad for a while, you guys would just start talking. Like honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, but Chris, you were just my white friend. Like it meant nothing to my dad at first until recently when you guys came over. My dad has this thing. He's super fit. So like after we eat, he makes sure it's after we eat. It's kind of to teach everyone lesson. He's like, all right, guys, and he only targets the guys. He's like, all right, all the guys here, come to the living room. We're all gonna start doing push-ups, and it's not your normal push-ups. He puts his feet up on the couch.
Yeah, so you're elevated. You got your feet all the way off the ground. You go all the way down to the ground.
Yeah, and so he starts doing this, and then he turns into an endurance contest. It's not just how many you can do. It's like he's all right for the next half hour. We're just continue doing it. Take as many breaks as we want. Let's see how many we can get. And nobody went up at first, right? I didn't. Right, and it's just kind of like when you try, it's like a social event when you try getting people galvanized to do something. It's kind of hard if they're not into it, and none of us really into it. But Chris, being the nice, like, I don't know, Samaritan you are, you just kind of went up and was like, you know what, screw it, might as well try, right? He's inviting us to try this. He did it, and he did pretty much the best out of everybody that tried.
I did okay. I came in like
third.
My
brother-in-law was only just ahead of you, and then my dad won. Obviously, my dad only challenged all of us by the way because he knew he'd win.
Yeah,
he's built.
I wish that I knew ahead of time that it was endurance one.
Because he didn't tell me, and everyone's kind of spent themselves in the first set.
Yeah, I just went as many as I possibly could the first one, and then towards the end, just tapered off a little bit more.
But yeah, at the end of that, you definitely earned his respect. He's like, man, this guy's pretty. Because my dad, like, he boxed in India and stuff. He's very, not sports, but very athletically inclined when he talks.
He's competitive.
He's very competitive.
Yeah.
It's
and I appreciate that. I used to think I wasn't competitive. I am.
Yeah.
I'm a really like competitive person when it gets down to my core.
Yeah, so like as laid back as we can be, everyone is competitive on the things they're passionate about.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just gets to what are you passionate about. So I guess there were things that you feel and we feel. And yeah, so that right there was like the turning point for my dad. He's like, man, I like that kid. Yeah, he ended up giving like a $50 gift, like from.
Yeah, that was the prize money. I didn't win it, and my goal is to actually earn it one day. Just go back over there, genuinely beat him, and then earn it.
I mean,
it felt like a steal this time.
You gotta train hard, Chris.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What about you, Jen? Like, how did your mom think of me and Chris?
I mean, my mom like you too. Since you two are very polite. Like she didn't really talk to you two because she didn't really speak good English. But she said, "Oh, you're a very nice friend." But that's one thing she said about Chris.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
She's like, "Oh," he said like, "Oh, how is Chris?" Like, "Oh, he's like a bit younger than me." Oh, she was like, "Oh, Chris look older."
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, she's like, "Oh, all your friends look older." I was like, "Oh, because like Asians look younger, it's not they look older." And that's what I said. I have to explain this to her, which is funny.
Asian don't raisin.
I felt almost kind of awkward because I was kind of like sat with Jin's mom when we went to eat dinner, like lunch together.
Yeah.
And I felt really awkward because I was like, oh man, I don't know what to say.
Because like my mom doesn't really talk much because she doesn't speak English well. But if she speaks good English, she would love to have conversation with you all.
I'm sure.
She's a really talkative person.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
She was very
too.
nice. She was very nice lady. Yeah.
God, I felt so awkward, man. I was like dropping my fork and my knife like all over the place. I was like, oh man, this is
Oh my
so
God.
embarrassing. I'm sorry.
It's a year ago. Can you believe that?
No, I can hardly believe it. It's crazy.
It's
Still
more than a
the
year
part
ago.
Wow. Dang, how time goes by so fast.
Yeah,
It really does. I mean, it's already like at the time of recording, it's already Wednesday, and this week's gone by alone, like super fast.
Yeah, just say, well, I know you as a freshman. Right now, you're working already.
I know. I know. We met.
And
You're your first semester freshman.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Look. And it's been like 4 or 5 years now. Oh my god, time flies. And aging so fast.
And how we dress also changes too. When how older we get, we look more simpler than we were when we were younger.
Yeah, my dress style changed a lot over like freshman year throughout like sophomore, junior, senior, and then now like as I'm like working and stuff.
Yeah, you get more formal for sure.
I'm a lot more reserved, that's for sure. When it comes to dressing.
Well, I don't know about me, but oh well.
I think you stay the same to me.
Yeah.
I think.
I think throughout the years,
I'm gonna
I've
have to
looked the
agree.
same.
You're still sunny.
I mean, it's a good thing. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think mine change much either. I don't
Never
know.
change, man. Never change.
Does that change a lot or no?
Well, you've always dressed nicer than me.
I think dress nicer than everybody else.
Yeah,
But yeah,
just as a day-to-day thing. Yeah.
What about places that we like to get our clothes from?
I wanted to ask that too. Yeah, so you should start, man. Since you brought it up, yeah. Where do you like to go?
I don't. Okay, so how it used to be was like my mom would come home with a shirt and say, hey, Ross, this will look good on you. I'm like, I'll try it. And sometimes it wouldn't, sometimes it wouldn't. I'm like, fuck it. That was my wardrobe. But of recent, because of a couple friends who ended up working at H&M, I go there and I'm like, man, this is like exactly my style. Like I like it. Got hip to like joggers. I like wearing joggers and stuff.
Yeah.
The only issue is that H&M kind of caters to that high school, early college, like dude look. Usually their bills are smaller than mine, and I have bigger bills, so I have to go for the XL or whatever. But other than that, yeah, I like going there. It's expensive, so I only go like once every 3 years. I'm saying that because I went there once and haven't been in a while. But yeah, that's kind of what I do. But that's if I'm feeling bougie. Otherwise, it's just whatever my family gets. Because I have older brothers, I have a younger brother. We kind of just wear whatever.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
For me, it's mostly hand-me-downs or what my friends give me. Basically, what I wear. That's what I'm on. And I think I shop at H&M like once every like 10 years.
I can actually attest to that. Like the shirt I'm wearing right now, and the one I love wearing it's a shirt. It's a college shirt.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
just-
it for free.
Yeah.
Clothes that are given to me, I usually wear.
It's an extra large and it fits. I'm like, screw it. I like it.
Well, you Chris?
Man, I had kind of a mix, man. Like if I go out and shop for myself, I just buy the cheapest thing I can find, and that's usually at this place called Uniqlo. I
my God,
always
Uniqlo.
buy. Yeah, I always buy. If you go to the back section, like the basics, you can find like solid color T-shirts for like $5.90. I always just
For
get
real?
those. Yeah, they're so cheap.
So like a lot of our other friends mention Uniqlo for like all sorts of goods. I've just never been. I might
You
just
should
hit
go.
It's
Oh,
literally so
it's
cheap.
good.
Like that's
I
where I
shop
got.
there too.
I got my favorite button-down shirt there that I wear
Dang.
on like dates or like.
It's
if I
not the
have
ones
a-
I gave
like,
you.
work.
Your favorite button down.
Ooh.
Yeah, it used to be. I mean, it used to be like the green one you gave me was like super nice, but it just got too thick. I got too thick. But the other part of that is if I don't shop for myself, me and my brother, we just like share clothes, and so whatever he buys, that's what I wear.
All right, this is where the porn stuff comes in.
There
Jin,
you go.
Okay, so I have to say, like,
I only ask this because I want to hear your
it's
opinion.
really interesting for me because like I can spend my money like a lot. I can spend like the t-shirt. I pay like 600 for this t-shirt.
What, you pay 600 for that?
Yeah, because I got it from Dior. And see, and I can pay like $1,000 to get a pair of pants from like Celine or from like Saint Laurent. But I can also. But this is the thing, I pay a lot of money to get expensive clothes. I pay money to get expensive clothes, but a lot of my clothes are not that expensive as well. So for my high-end brand, I would go to Saint Laurent and Dior and Celine are my favorite. They're very expensive. And in the middle, I always go to Club Monaco. And I always go to Sandro. It's a French brand. It's
No.
really good.
I haven't heard of like
Club Monaco and French and Sandro and All Saints. I shop there. They're like in between and Rag and Bone sometimes. And then lower scale, I shop at COS, which is H&M but more higher up. And I barely shop at H&M and Zara anymore because I don't like it get worse and worse the quality to me. I don't really shop there anymore. But I do shop Urban Outfitter and Urban Outfitter and COS a lot. But I also go to Goodwill to get cheap clothes sometimes because I really like vintage clothes. It's for good cause. So I would say like maybe 10% or 15% of my clothes are actually from Goodwill. And I go in for like very cheap price. But the other maybe like 30% they are from like Dior, Celine, so on. And my majority of clothes falls in between like Club Monaco or Sense, Urban Outfitter, Sandro.
Like 95% of those things you named, I did not know any of them.
The only reason I know Dior is because when I was walking through a mall and it's Dior, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of blue and silver.
Like it depends. They have the Dior girl and the Dior man. The Dior man is they is the same name, but the style, they have different designer and the style are different.
The only reason I know it is because I was walking through a mall and saw it on the side. I just remember seeing the
It's
word.
a very high-end French brand. Like Saint Laurent, high-end French brand, and something high-end French brand. They're very expensive. Like the t-shirt can cost 500-600. Pants can cost like depends on the material. If they're wool, they will cost like 1,200. Or if they're like normal, like 800, and a t-shirt button down normally 600 to 900. Depends on what you get.
Alright, so let's say, have you ever gotten like an entire like suit, like a blazer with like dress pants?
I don't get tailor, but I do get suit that are kind of expensive. What I get is I get there and get a suit that fit my size and ask a tailor to fix it for me. So I never really have one design for me.
Okay, well the reason I ask is because I want to know how much you might pay for like a really good
suit.
Yeah, a suit.
I mean, I pay like 8,000, I think. Woo!
Sonny died.
I'm sorry, I'm very into these fashion things.
No, we're not hating. It's,
I mean, you guys can see my closet later.
yeah, I mean we are.
We'll check his closet later.
Yeah, well, thanks by the way for inviting us into your
Yeah, of
studio
course,
apartment and letting us
yeah.
do it. But that's interesting because we're not hating. It's just you mentioned some things like cut quality and stuff that I wasn't even aware of. like I didn't care to learn about. Right?
That's
I was like,
true.
okay, this looks good. I'll wear it, whatever. But I know what you're talking about. That sometimes it does make a noticeable difference. So just the fact that you're more aware of it automatically makes your fashion sense better. Like it's just right there. Like if I were to give you my wardrobe, you'd probably look better than me, just because you know what to wear and what to match.
Uh-huh.
I guess that's what I'm getting at.
I think it's just like,
And if I had yours, I'd still look like trash.
I mean, I just feel like sometimes it doesn't matter if the clothes are expensive or not, because there are very expensive clothes that look like shit,
Yeah.
and there are very like cheap clothes that look really good. What matters is that you pair them up together. For me, it's just like you might see me wearing like a 600 shirt that pair it out with a 15 jacket I got from Goodwill. I do that sometimes.
But if it works together,
Yeah,
why not?
I put them together. You see, I wear like $800 like pants, and I pair it out with like maybe a $20 t-shirt. I do that. Like it doesn't really matter to me about the price. Just about the brand or the price doesn't matter that much to me. What matters is like if they look
The end
good.
result.
Yeah, if the result, I pair them up together.
Yeah. So for me, the value of the shirt isn't on aesthetic. It's more of just the personal experience. Like, this was given to me as a gift. This means a little more.
That's true. Yeah.
I do it based on comfiness.
Yeah, that's true too.
And that's the other half.
That's like a lot of like my favorite shirts are the ones that were like I either like have a matching one with Rita. I either have like a matching one or like
Chris is very lovey-dovey.
Yeah, that's true.
Chris is a beautiful romantic. If only he wasn't taken.
Yeah, I like those ones, man. Man, you know what I just bought? I just bought this gigantic. It's literally like, you guys can't see this because it's an audio podcast, but it's probably like
That's like
3 feet long, like probably a foot thick, like Tokage.
What's Kokage?
Tokage is like this plushy thing from Sumiko Garashi.
Wait, hold on. Doesn't Riza love that?
Yeah, she like loves that.
Bro,
but I bought one.
and she has a bunch of different sizes. I don't think she has one that big.
No, like I bought the biggest one.
How
And
much-
I bought her like a
How
really
much
big
was
one.
that? Because I've seen the prices.
It
for those.
was like $45. It was not that much.
Oh wait, what the
Oh,
heck?
that's not bad.
Yeah,
pretty good.
45. It was like huge. Like it was like as big as this bear. Like maybe a little bit short.
You still have my giant bear.
Yeah,
do you?
I do.
Yeah.
That bear was like a lot. Like it was like 200, right?
it's like I'm going in Costco. It's not that expensive. It's like I forgot. It's not
Maybe like
definitely not 200. Like it's about 100.
Probably
Like,
100. But I was like really happy with it because I got it on
3 foot
sale.
long Tokage,
And
dude.
then I got it
She's
on
gonna be
sale.
psyched.
Yeah, I know. Like I want her to come over and she can like come see this gigantic Tokage. Oh my god, this is so funny. Because I have like a super small one that's probably as big as my hand, but then I have this like fucking giant one. I just put them like
Put them
right on
beside
top.
each other or right on top.
Yeah, it's like right on top. It's so
just
funny.
have that contrast be very visible.
Yeah, it's like so squishy too. It's awesome. I love that thing. So I feel like I know you guys a little bit better having this conversation, but I want to get to know Jin a little bit better in a new capacity. So we gave Jin a little bit of time to mull over his top 5 video games, kind of like how we used to do back early in the Sic podcast.
Yeah, we
Just
did
ask
with
our guests.
resume.
Yeah, I think that was the
That's
only
it.
person we did actually. But we're
Because
bringing
he's-
it back. We're gonna have Jin tell us about his top 5 favorite video games just to wrap up, and so just give it to Jin.
I don't really play video games that much, but I think my all-time favorite game that I've played so far is Persona. I think that Persona is so good because the storyline is just perfect, and then also the quality of the game itself so good. I can just see like they put a lot of like effort into developing this game, and I like the storyline, like amazing. How like actually teach you some life lessons in there too, like Japanese games I like that. And I also really like the role play game to begin with, so that's my top one right up there. And the second one is another role play game called Blue Dragon. It's only on Xbox, and it's actually one of the first video games I played as a kid. I played back in middle school or even elementary school. It's really good because like even the quality of the game right now, the picture quality, everything is still really good, and back that time like so good, and storyline is very long and very perfect as well. Actually got Xbox just recently just to replay the game because he bring me back some memory.
You bought the Xbox specifically for the one game.
Yeah, just for that game. It's so good.
What model is that one? Is it the S? Is it the X?
I have no idea.
It
I
can
have
play
no
Blue
idea.
Dragon, Chris. That's what matters.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I also love to play Mario Party because like I just got Switch recently. I have some friends over. I think it's a very good way to heal the party. Not to get to know someone, but to get along with someone. Feel closer with someone by playing the game. I think it's really nice, and I also like to play Dynasty Warriors. It's one of the first game I play as well, and I just think it's very fun to play with. And my last game is Just Dance. I think it's also on Switch, and it's also a party game. And I think when people get a little bit tipsy and when they dance, it could be funny and could be
Do you have
fun.
Just Dance right now?
Yeah, I have Just Dance.
Oh snap!
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're gonna
I
play
Just
that
Dance in
afterwards.
Mario Party.
Yeah, once we conclude this episode, we're just gonna be dancing.
Wait, before we end this, I need to ask Jen the most important question. Who was your girlfriend in Persona?
I make everyone my girlfriend.
Okay. Is there not one girl you like?
Who's your favorite girl?
Who's your favorite girl?
I think I like the daughter the most, maybe.
Oh.
I forgot her name, but I like the daughter. I like her sharp personality
Tay,
a lot.
right?
Yeah, Tay.
I know I don't like the reporter. She's my least favorite.
Oh yeah, she's my least favorite also.
Yeah. I know.
So-
Oh, I also like the fortune teller. I also like her a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good too.
So basically, on their list, on Sunny's and Chris's list, back when they did theirs, Persona was also up there. I think Persona was your favorite.
Yeah, the number one.
It's so good. You should play. It's so good.
Yeah,
I don't even play yet. It's good.
Everyone tells her I was like, every time we talk
I
about it.
haven't told.
It wasn't my number one, but in recent memory, it is for sure.
It's definitely up there.
For sure, like one of my favorite games of all time. Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
finished it?
Yeah, of course. I'm on my
You
second
finished
playthrough
it,
right
I
now.
finished it twice. I mean, almost 3 times now.
Yeah, I finished it twice. I'm going to play the third
Yeah,
time.
Jin, while you were mentioning it, the whole time Sunny was nodding. He's like, yes.
Yes. I love that game.
It's just so good.
So good.
I love that game.
It's so good. The
JRPG.
storyline's perfect. Also, like, teach you some life lessons about how you should pay attention to people around you. That's what Japanese like anime and Japanese like game. They always teach you life lessons.
Yeah.
But it seems like your games are mostly like, role playing. There's a lot of role playing or party
I
games
like
for like
role
friends
playing
and stuff.
party. Yeah.
All right. And you mentioned Mario Party and Just Dance. So
Yeah.
I can't wait to hit that up, actually.
It's really good. I like those two, like their party games.
All right, well, this is going to be a sick podcast signing off. This is kind of what we thought about fashion and how that can make a statement, how people change the way they think, or how people think about people, depending on how you present yourself. Thank you, Jin, so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
And the other way around, thanks for having us at your place.
Of course. You guys are always welcome.
Oh, that's amazing. All right, peace out, guys.
Peace.
See you later.
See ya.